Meteorologist Joey Sylvan here at the Live 5 Alert Desk on our Friday around lunchtime, where we have a brand new tropical depression that has formed out in the Atlantic. So I want to get you up to speed with that. Before we go into the weekend, you may be wondering, do I need to be concerned about this? Well, let's do a little bit of a lay of the land, so to speak, out in the Atlantic, because we do have numerous areas that we're watching. We have Hurricane Lee, which is past our latitude now, but is bringing some high surf. We'll talk about that in a second. And Margot, which is way out in the Atlantic, in the northeastern kind of quadrant of the Atlantic. That's a non-issue, not concerned about that. You see a yellow blob. That's a little area we'll watch next week, see if it eventually develops. But brand new is Tropical Depression number 15. We've been talking about this. This is likely to become Tropical Storm Nigel. That would happen maybe later today or tomorrow. So Tropical Depression 15 is officially developed as of 11 o'clock on Friday morning, September 15th, moving off to the northwest at 12. Now, there's nothing really to impede this becoming a tropical storm and eventually a hurricane over the upcoming days. So you can see the forecast takes us out, and each kind of timestamp there beside that track, you see that this gains intensity, 45, 70, 100, 120. So this is forecast to eventually become a major hurricane. A wide kind of open area of the Atlantic, once again dodging land and dodging the Caribbean. So this is going to go a little bit farther north than Lee did, and I'm going to show you the computer models, at least the early guidance on this storm system. And what you'll notice is that turn happening. So just to give you kind of a benchmark here, this little yellow dot, that is where Bermuda is. Lee came more in this kind of path here. So this shows an earlier turn, perhaps out to sea. Now, it's not a guarantee. This is just developed. We'll see how things unfold as we head into next week. But I would not be concerned about it at all this weekend. Go about your weekend. No worries. Check back in on Monday, and we'll let you know where we stand and if anything had changed substantially. Now, we do have a high surf advisory. Let's talk about what matters to you if you are going to try to take advantage of what is going to be a beautiful start to the weekend and get out to the beaches tomorrow. We are urging you to stay out of the water. There is a high risk of rip currents, very dangerous rip currents that could be life-threatening. So stay out of the water. You go out to the beach, enjoy it, dip your toes in the water, but I wouldn't go too much farther than that. Waves 4 to 7 feet possible today and tomorrow. Eventually things will calm down, but when you have a major hurricane passing by offshore, that's what happens. It throws some wave action our way. But in the grand scheme of things, that's the worst thing, is everybody is safe this weekend. If that's the worst that we get out of is some high waves, I think we can handle that, and we would take that every time. 80-mile-per-hour winds. By the way, Lee is expected to start to have impacts from Cape Cod, Nantucket area, Martha's Vineyard on up through portions of Maine where tropical storm warnings are up. They'll feel kind of the fringe effects right there along the coast. Looks like the center of this storm is going to move up into Nova Scotia. It shouldn't lose tropical nature over the next 24 hours, essentially sucking in some colder air into this storm and some drier air, which will end and conclude its kind of naming rights as, if you think back, this is what happened with Hurricane Sandy. Became Superstorm Sandy because it became extra tropical in nature. Still can have wide-reaching effects with tropical storm winds that extend well out away from the center. So it will be a windy day tonight into tomorrow along the coast there in New England. And then this moves on, and hopefully there's not a whole lot of damage out. I think this will be impactful up more from northern sections of Maine going up into Nova Scotia. Once again, Tropical Depression 15 has officially formed in the Atlantic Basin. At this point in time, we are not concerned about this storm. Forecast to become Nigel, a tropical storm later today or tonight, and then it will continue to move northwestward. Early indications show that this turns a little bit quicker than Lee, which would certainly be good news, welcome news, and stay away from the East Coast. But it's a check back in early next week. But we'll keep you updated on everything you need to know about the forecast and the tropics. Download the Live 5 First Alert weather app. You're always first to know there on anything that develops. And also you can check in on that weekend forecast. Hope you have a great day.